Live now to Kyle Sullivan.
We're here at the Hayden Pass fire. It's Wednesday, July 13th. This is the fourth day that the fire's been really big. It ignited we had an initial report of smoke on Friday evening, approximately 6 p.m. We came and checked that out on 3 separate occasions and did not see smoke on any of those occasions. Really investigated those smoke reports and didn't come up with anything. Then approximately 2 p.m. on Sunday, the fire really blew up. On that first Sunday, it grew to about 5,000 acres. On Monday, we were up to about 12,000 acres. Our most recent acreage, it looks like it's grown about 600 more acres, so we're just under 13,000 acres on the fire. Last night, we had an inversion in place, and so what that meant is higher up, it was warmer temperatures, increased winds, so there was some fire activity overnight on the ridges. We expect that inversion to lift here in about 30 minutes at about 10:30 this morning. We anticipate increased fire behavior earlier in the day, so at approximately noon today, we'll be seeing fire behavior that's similar to what we saw at about 2 p.m. yesterday, and so looking at earlier fire conditions. Some of the things that firefighters have to deal with, firefighter safety is our #1 priority on this fire, and a lot of the access points to this fire, there's one way in, one way out. There's a lot of brush on the side of the roads, and so that means our safety zones can be fairly dangerous to get to. Given the amount of vegetation and the oak brush, especially low down, visibility is certainly an issue for firefighters. We do have lookouts in place. We have established safety zones for all fire crews. So those are a few of the challenges. In addition, cell phone service in the area is difficult, so communication is another challenge on the fire. We do have radios set up, and firefighters are able to communicate on the radios. But those are some of the challenges firefighters are facing. Right now we have heavy dozers, bulldozers digging fire line from County Road 6 to Big Cottonwood Road. We have hand crews working to the west from Cottonwood Road to tie in with those dozers. We had some success with the Duckett fire, the fire line established for the Duckett fire. There was bulldozer line already established in the already burned out area. That's doing a good job of holding the fire on the eastern flank of the fire. And then we have additional aircraft. Today we have 3 Type 1 helicopters. Those are our big heavy helicopters. We have 3 of the medium helicopters, the Type 2 helicopters, and then we have 1 light helicopter working the fire today.
Any containment numbers yet?
There is no containment at this time, given the growth of the fires. The last couple days we're really working on scouting line. A lot of the attack that we've been doing have been indirect lines, and so that means we're building fire line away from the fire front. Here in the next couple days we anticipate conducting back burns from those fire lines back towards the fire to give us a larger fire line, and at that point we will likely have additional containment, but it's not anticipated that we'll have any solid containment today.
Do you have any list or where folks are coming from to help you? I understand Custer County Sheriff's Office is involved now. Do you have a list kind of how far away people are coming to assist this fire?
I do not have an exact list right now of where folks are coming from. We would definitely like to thank the Fremont County Sheriff, the Custer County Sheriff, the Pueblo County Sheriff. They've been doing an excellent job maintaining the road closures and ensuring the safety of residents and ensuring the protection of their homes during the evacuation and road closures. We'd also like to thank the Howard Fire Department and Coaldale Fire Departments. They've been instrumental in assisting with initial response, and especially the Howard Fire Department for housing the evacuees.
Do you expect there to be additional evacuations today? Which direction is the fire moving?
I am not aware of any additional evacuations today.
Which direction is the fire moving?
So the fire is moving to the east.
Still moving that direction?
Correct.
What's the main focus today, and is it any closer to homes? I know yesterday you said it is still close to homes and you guys were doing structure assessments.
Correct. So main focus today, firefighter and public safety. That's #1. That's going to be our focus throughout this fire. We also have structure protection. We have a structure protection division, so that means a group of firefighters dedicated solely to structure protection. What they're doing is they're going in, assessing the structures, how likely they are, what kind of defensible space they have, and then if necessary they're going in there, they're removing propane tanks, firewood, even cleaning gutters if necessary to make those houses more defensible. Again, firefighter safety is our number one priority, so if there are houses that do not have defensible space, if it gets to that point, firefighter safety is our number one concern, and so they might have to disengage if it gets to that point.
I talked to some evacuees earlier today, and they were talking about the fact they've been out of their homes since Sunday. They still don't have power inside of those structures. I mean, is that something you guys were even aware of? Because when they brought it up at a meeting, it was met by shock and surprise.
That ties into the firefighter safety. Sangre de Cristo Electric, at our request, did shut off the power. When we have overhead lines, that becomes a huge safety issue for firefighters. I know where there's the underground lines, they did not shut off power. And so that's just one of those risk assessments that we have to take. And really it comes down to firefighter safety.
Have we had any injuries yet to firefighters?
There have not been any injuries reported to firefighters.
How close to structures, if any?
I believe the flames are fairly close to some structures. I've heard within a quarter mile to half a mile of some of the structures.
When do you guys see you having any containment?
Again, we're really scouting the fire line and starting to build the fire line. It's a lot of indirect fire line, and so what that means is we're building fire line at the federal land boundary, so the BLM and Forest Service boundary with private land, which is an indirect fire line, and from there we will be back burning to the fire, and at that point is when we'll have containment. We are not anticipating to do any of that back burning today. That may occur tomorrow. It may take another few days to really get that line established. We want to make sure that we have solid dozer line in place before we start doing that back burning.
Where are you able to get water?
There are a few water sources near the fire, and the helicopters have had a lot of success using those water sources. Helicopters are ideally suited to this terrain. They're working closely with ground crews to check the growth of the fire, and so they're able to do targeted drops in coordination with ground crews and have been very successful in protecting structures, especially on County Road 6.
In terms of resources, I mean, we've gone on 4 days now without zero containment. How long do you think those guys are going to have to be out there?
We do not anticipate this fire to be over quickly. This will be a long-term fire, especially in the wilderness area. Hopefully we'll have some solid fire containment lines closer to Coaldale in the coming days. That's one of our priorities for fire line. However, up in the wilderness and higher up in the mountains, that fire will burn for quite a while.
Are there any more pre-evacuations?
I am not aware of any additional pre-evacuations at this time.
What impact do you expect today's weather outlook to have? I know yesterday we had lower humidity, but we're seeing a little bit more. What are you expecting today?
Yeah, so today we anticipate even lower relative humidity, so it's going to be dry, it's going to be hot. Fire activity is going to pick up earlier than it did yesterday, so we do anticipate additional growth. There are several pockets within the fire perimeter that have not burned. We anticipate that some of those areas will be burning today, in addition to some additional growth outside of the current fire perimeter.
As a firefighter, the local community kind of reaching out and saying thank you. Have you guys noticed that? Is that something you're seeing?
We have, yeah. We've heard from a lot of community members. We have information lines established here in Howard and Coaldale and Cotopaxi. We've also been over to the San Luis Valley and Villa Grove and Poncha Pass, and from what we've heard from residents, they're extremely thankful for the efforts of the firefighters. Everybody knew a fire like this was going to happen at some point, given the fuel loading, the beetle kill, the conditions. It was just a matter of time, and so we've seen an overwhelming amount of support from the community, and we are extremely thankful for that.
Do you happen to know what the average fire spread rate is?
That I do not know.
Okay.
Next update's coming when? Yeah.
It'll be later tonight. I don't have an exact time. I'll send out information from the that email I sent earlier. It's the Hayden Pass Fire info2016@gmail.com. We also have a fire media information line, so if you all have questions, if there's an angle you want to take on this fire, if you want to get into the base camp, please give us a call on that phone number. I can get it to you in just a minute, and we'll work with you to facilitate those interview requests. We're getting additional public information resources in today, and we'll continue to get that throughout the week, and that will make it a lot easier to facilitate some of those interview requests.
Where do you guys stand for media tours?
That's something I'm working on. We're still waiting for additional public information support before we're able to do that.
Likely today or probably not?
Probably not today.
Good enough.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you are in Salida, if you're at the base camp or at the incident command, we ask that you please check in at the information trailer first. It's right out in front of the Salida High School. That's where our public information officers are based out of, and we're happy to answer your questions from there and work with you to get the story that you need. Thank you.